Everybody, and welcome to the CWSFL Season 14 Championship pregame show. I'm your host, Bizarro Max Kellerman, because unfortunately we spent too much on the studio and couldn't afford the real one. We'll try again next year after this becomes a hit. This is a big Gold Bowl matchup between the Berlin Hellhounds and the Bangkok Pandas. I'm proud to be joined by two representatives, one from each team. We have Serox, the general manager of the Bangkok Pandas, and Lunark, the owner of the Berlin Hellhounds. Both these teams have fought hard to get to this championship game, and it's only fitting that it's the fourth all-time matchup between them. Could it be the best one yet? We'll see. But either way, we should get an exciting game today. Hi there, Serox.
How you doing?
Doing great. How are you doing in the lead up to this matchup?
Both these teams, we've been here before. I think know what to expect. It's another morning, another game day routine. Same thing as always.
Sounds good to me. Discuss a little bit, because you've been around for a long time and you've seen a lot of Gold Bowls in your time. Discuss a little bit the history between these two franchises in this big championship game.
Well, both of these teams came into the league back in Season 4, and it didn't take long for them to match up immediately. That first year, both of them versus Lions versus Dragons, first Gold Bowl matchup. Now we're sitting here in Season 14. We're going on the fifth matchup between these two teams. So they're not afraid or shy from this championship game. You got a lot of history between these teams here. And now Hellhounds have a new GM in Allen. He gets to now finally get to see what this rivalry is all about. Not many teams face off 3 times a season, and just about every year these guys have, just based off a Gold Bowl matchup.
Alan Haggis appearing in his first Gold Bowl, the 10th GM in CWSFL history, to have a team in the Gold Bowl. Hi, Lunark. How are you doing today?
I'm going to be honest, I partied too hard. I'm exhausted, but I am so happy to be back here. I say I'm happy to be back here, but you know who's really happy to be back here? It's the fans. This is the first Gold Bowl in CWSFL history to be hosted in Berlin. And not only that, but for us to be able to get into this game, to be able to get the fans into that neutral site stadium. It's a neutral site, but it's gonna be popping off in there. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
Absolutely. Turkey Field playing host to their first Gold Bowl, and they'll play with their home team in the arena, but as we know, it is technically a neutral matchup, and the Pandas, due to seeding, will be considered the home team for our purposes. It's been an exciting season to get us this far. When you look at the standings, you see your typical teams. The Pandas and the Lancers winning their divisions. We've come to expect this. We understand this. We see our usual playoff contenders, but there were a few surprises this year. The Pegasi and Gazelles set or tied their all-time wins record. Bermuda showed up on their way up, and Minnesota didn't have quite as good a year as you might expect them to, given all their past history. Serox, I want to come to you first. Who is a team that surprised you this year for any reason, whether it's the way they performed or the way their season played out?
Well, coming into the back half of the regular season, it looked like the Argos Pegasi finally figured out a way to get over the hump. They had a win over Bangkok Pandas, who are now sitting here in the Gold Bowl. And they had an early win. They split the season series with the Berlin Hellhounds, who are playing in the Gold Bowl as well. It looked like they finally figured it out, and then it quickly turned the other way. So, honestly, Houston Stags are probably that surprising team for me this year. Came in with a new GM after the great Steve Yandy stepped into retirement after getting them a Gold Bowl. So I was a little bit worried there. They lost some players to free agency, and some of them are even playing in this Gold Bowl now here today with the Hellhounds. So seeing that they were able to make the Final Four, Simpson doing that in the first season, I guess kind of proved that maybe he's here to stay for a little while.
Absolutely. And Lunark, what do you make of the Vancouver Lancers this year and their season? Obviously winning the West, but going out in the Final Four in shock fashion to the other team in this championship, the Berlin Hellhounds.
So I think they're good to begin with, right? I think that they've had a strong roster that has carried over from old Johnny. One of the greatest to ever do it. I just think that, as we proved last week, they're just not as good as us right now. That's what it comes down to. They may have more skilled players, but I think that there's still a little bit of a lack of experience and understanding from this new GM of like how to play CWSFL football. And as a result, we were able to really take them to course and secure Gold Bowl positioning for the first time in 3 or 4 seasons.
Those are some fighting words, more so than when I fight with Stephen A. Smith. That's crazy. Okay, well, that's where the Lancers are at. And this year we had 4 top contenders make it to the last round of the playoffs before the Gold Bowl, those being, of course, the Hellhounds, Pandas, Lancers, and Stags. Bangkok and Berlin both had very good years. Bangkok went 9-1 this year, following up their 10-0 season where they won a Gold Bowl last year. Very good team and very consistent, particularly on the ground in the run game. And Berlin, this is the team with a lot of new players, as Serox alluded to. You have players from the Stags like Gonk Gonkson, JJ Ennerfeld. You have players from the Pharaohs like Taj Leatherwood and Lord Gold. This was a team that really came together in all the right ways to upset the Lancers and make it to this Gold Bowl. Serox, speak to us a little bit about how dominant Berlin and Bangkok have been this year, and where in particular they've excelled.
So to start the season, both of these teams came out strong defensively. Berlin was still figuring out a little bit there on offense. Axel Axman was leading the way, doing exactly what Axman does. But, Cody Parks, they signed during the season. They moved Dwayne Swanson to the backup for a little bit, let him learn a little bit more and get a little bit more developed and kind of grow more with the system. Parks stepped in, played great. They went on a little bit of a win streak for a while. Then Swanson comes in, and now you see they're sitting here in the Gold Bowl. But that defense was very, very good. They only allowed 18.1 points per game. And then the Pandas as well, very strong on the defensive side, only allowing 14.1 points per game. One of the 2 of the top 3 defenses here in the league. Both lean on the running backs heavy with Jalen Jones and Axel Axman. Jalen Jones kind of, how you see him going is how you see how the Pandas offense will be. Joe Burrow, he's had quite the season and improved from last year. A little bit, not as many mistakes as he did make. And Jalen Jones, man, really able to lean on him, and depending on if he can get going, then kind of opens up a lot of things for the Pandas offense.
Makes a ton of sense. And yeah, 2 teams that are built in very similar ways and yet execute very differently should be exciting. Lunark, talk a little bit about the regular season matchups we saw between these 2 teams and how that's going to affect Berlin's mindset coming into this game.
So I think first, I want to touch up on some of the history. Back in the day, I'll say, right? Because I'm young and spry, and but the matchup was much more even. Berlin Hellhound. And it was a pretty regular split the difference, or one would get it one season or the other would go the next. But over the last couple of seasons, the Pandas have really run away with the rivalry, in a way that many of us are all too familiar with. And so part of it is I don't think that Berlin has high expectations necessarily. We're here to party and have fun. Because in week 2 we lost 42-20, and then in week 10 we lost 28-10. So there is a history of us losing to the Pandas, unfortunately. However, I do think that this does cause a little bit of an axe to grind, and does give a little bit of that, vengeful spirit that's so ingrained into the Berlin Hellhounds. I also think that there's a little piece of that history with the Gold Bowls, the franchise is ultimately coming to 5 Gold Bowls, and then the Pandas coming away with 4 of those. That certainly does something to the team and creates that, that rivalry legacy that they're really trying to, bring across, but then also make true on.
Okay. And it should be an exciting matchup. Lunark, I want to come back to you again as we talk about these Hellhounds team storylines. I want to hear from you, the owner himself. What do you consider to be the biggest storylines for the Hellhounds leading into this game?
So I think it's a couple of pieces, a couple of key pieces. I think, first of all, there is a question about this Hellhounds defense. And I think that based on just the play style of the Pandas, the really big matchups that we are going to see are going to be between that Hellhounds defensive line, the cornerbacks and their ability to stop the run, and that Pandas run game. So, Luna Koenig has been working out all season trying to build up for run defense stopping. The Hellhounds, we acquired the Quavion kills to be able to beef up that defensive line. We have some really good defensive tackles who are great at, bringing down running backs as soon as they try to hit that gap. So, ultimately it's going to be a question of if that run can be stopped. And then on the other side, we're looking at the return of Dwayne "The Rock" Swanson, the franchise QB. He did have to sit out for a little while, but now that he's taken some time to improve his mobility and some of the other features of his game, I do think that he is actually very well prepared to match up against this Pandas defense, who focuses very heavily on the defensive line and getting quickly to the backfield.
Well, Luna Koenig with 22 tackles for loss was second in the league, and Dwayne "The Ron" Swanson becoming Dwayne "The Rock" Swanson. You heard it here first. What a moment we're in for. I think we also should focus on the fact that the Hellhounds have lost to the Pandas twice this year. That is big, and they aren't going to want to lose the third time. And hey, they only remember if you win the last game of the season. So big moment for the Hellhounds for sure. Sarah, I want to come over to you. For your team, for the Bangkok Pandas, what do you consider to be the storylines going into this game?
Man, there's a lot of them here, especially with the fact that it's the Hellhounds versus Pandas. So many storylines already that is made up just off of that. But like Lunark said, the Pandas defensive line, man, that sets the tone. You have 22 sacks already this season, 74 tackles for loss. They lead the way with derpy tackles for loss, and then Deuce there on the outside, man. Both those two guys this season have kind of stepped up on the D-line, and then not only that, you have X Factors. If one of them gets free, X Factor comes out from linebacker and makes the play there, as he has 11 tackles for losses. So the defense sets the tone for Pandas games. There's been a lot of times this season where the offense got a little stuck, man. Couldn't really move the ball, and the defense continues to give them a chance. And then the wild story, he hasn't had too crazy of a year with the old legs he's got there, but man, JB still finding a way to kick it here in this season, playing I've been a part of every Hellhounds versus Pandas matchup here in the Gold Bowl. Has seen a ton of games and is maybe one of the last OGs left in this rivalry. So it'll be crazy to see if he'll get to do anything here in this Gold Bowl game. But on the offensive side of things, we know who it is. It's Jalen Jones. That's the X factor for the offense. That's who the Hellhounds are going to be looking at the most, trying to figure out where he's lined up every time in the backfield. If you can find a way to limit Jalen Jones on the outside, keep him. It's hard to stop a running back in the league. We all know how that goes. But if you can find a way to contain him just every now and then, maybe on a third down, or maybe get him on a second down to make for a third and long to give yourself a chance, then that's how you're going to have to try to hope for. But Jalen Jones, man, he's the man with the plan for the Pandas.
Absolutely, I agree with you on all of that. And I guess I'd also add that quarterback Joe Burrows had a very interesting year, second in the league in touchdown passes with 25, third in the league in passing yards, but also second in the league in interceptions with 6. And this is not a quarterback who's had a substantial amount of volume. So definitely a very high-wire quarterback act. You don't want to see him turn this ball over today because you do have a dominant back like Jalen Jones. But if you're throwing picks and you're committing turnovers every single time you get when you do get the ball, even if it's not that frequent, that's all the Hellhounds need. So I'll be focusing on that as well. Well, I think we're about ready to go for what should be an exciting matchup. Will Berlin finally break through, or will the Pandas be able to maintain their dominance? History will be made tonight. It's time for the Berlin Hellhounds and the Bangkok Pandas. Let's play some football.
Welcome to the CWSFL Championship game. This is a matchup between Romulus and Remus, two teams that came into the league as twins and fought tooth and nail for 5 seasons. These teams have already played each other twice and have competed against each other in 5 previous Gold Bowls. The Berlin Hellhounds are coming in as underdogs in their own city, while the Pandas are working to cement a legacy that will never be outbid. These are the games that define league history. Let's take it to the field.
Well, thank you, Lenark. Let's get this show on the road as we start kickoff. Hellhounds will receive. It's Peter Relish kicking off. And we're underway here at the Gold Bowl. And it'll be Kamar Reynolds on the return. That's about 20 yards on that return. So we'll see Dwayne DeRon Swanson taking snaps here. Got to start in the Final Four and now starting again for the Gold Bowl. First play to Axel Axman, gets stuffed in the backfield by Jay Braga. That's a loss of 3. And what a start for the Pandas.
It's a big hit right there.
Absolutely it was, Serox. Now 2nd down and 13. Swanson dropping back, passes over the middle, and he misses Kamar Reynolds. That was a tough throw.
That, if it keeps playing like that, then we might end up seeing a very offensively dull game from the Hellhounds.
Can't have those in the Gold Bowl. 3rd down, and Swanson is sacked. It's Deuce coming over. 3rd. And a loss of 9. You can hear Serox getting very excited about that. 4th down, Hellhounds have to punt. And it'll be Jalen Goodson Jr., the best kicker in the league, here punting it away to Peyton McCullough. And Gio Sayas will shut that down. 53 yards, return for 5. And we'll see Joe Burrow when he's not playing for the Bengals. He's playing for the Bangkok Pandas. It'll be 1st and 10 now from the 38. Hand off to Jalen Jones. That's going to be a gain of 8 there on that run. Lanzo Contos on the stop.
That was a big-time stop by the Pandas defense to get things started. Hellhounds still figuring it out on offense. Now we're going to see how the Hellhounds defense can hold up here.
And they do. It's Taj Leatherwood on that deflection. One thing he's done really well this year is he plays the pass coverage and he plays the run. He's been a big signing for Berlin. 3rd and 2 now to come for the Pandas. Let's see where they go with the ball. It'll be Joe Burrow taking it. And he's hit and almost threw an interception, but missed it. Was looking for Devo Samuel Jr. It's 4th down. And the Pandas are going to go for it. They're going to go ahead and give it a run here. 4th and 2 to come. They go to Jalen Jones, and he is able to get the 1st down. Nico Tron looked like he had a chance at that play, but just missed it.
That's one of the biggest dangers about this Pandas offense is it's the strong wide receivers and tight ends playing like blockers.
And just like that, a screen out there now to Peyton McCullough for 9 yards.
Great spin move right there. Way to create some space and get good yardage there on the 1st down. Make it short, 2nd and short. Wow.
Ooh, and that's way off.
Another defensive line play there by the Hellhounds. That's why they traded for Jaquavian Kills Jr. mid-season, is to strengthen the whole line. And so far today it's been working. Another 3rd and 2 now to come. Burrow drops back, and he finds Peyton McCullough over the middle. Lanzo Contric chases him down, but another 1st down, 35 yards for Peyton McCullough on his 2nd catch of the day. And it'll be 1st and goal now to come. Burrow starting out 2 for 5, but 2 big completions. And he's sacked. It's Logan Bandy, who's quietly had a very nice year coming over from the Stags. Very underappreciated player. And a great season as a Hellhound. 2nd down and goal now from the 16-yard line. 17, excuse me. Ooh. Pass caught. Deebo Samuel Jr. Touchdown Pandas. What a play.
What a risky pass there. Threw it right between two Hellhounds, but found a way. Deebo Samuel came up with that one. Man, Pandas, they're going to have to try to figure something out, though, on that offensive line because the Hellhounds D-line, Logan Bandy, DeQuavion Killis Jr., man, they are finding ways to get through the gaps, man, and get to Joe Burrow.
Absolutely. So it'll be Kamar Reynolds again on this return, and he's taken down there, and so that'll be an 18-yard return as the Hellhounds offense will get a second chance here to operate. Dwayne Swanson going from under center now, and he'll drop back, pat this out to Axel Axman, but missed. It's deflected by JB in his final career game. And a question being, why is Kamar Reynolds returning? He has not done that all season. And Axel Axman up the middle for 9 yards.
You know, the Berlin Hellhounds earlier this year had a running back too who could make it up the middle fairly well, but they decided to cut them for some savings, thinking Axman could do the job.
Pass by Jim Jettis. That's another big acquisition for the Polar Bears. First catch of the day, 16 yards and a first. And the drive will keep going.
It looks like the Hellhounds are getting aggressive.
Yeah, absolutely. They're gonna keep going. Dwayne going deep. Oh, and he threw it into coverage. Looks like it was Mad Max back there. Was looking for Kamar Reynolds, but that pass falls safely incomplete, and it'll be 2nd down and 10.
You know, an interesting storyline that we haven't talked much or heard much about yet is K-Dog going up against his former team of the Bangkok Pandas. Spent a few seasons with him before getting traded back to the team he originally was drafted and started with in the Hellhounds. We'll see if there's any vengeance there in his performance.
Yeah, as Dwayne the Ron Swanson has started out 1 for 6. It's just an ugly day. It's 4th down. Hellhounds presumably have to punt here. And it looks like they will. So Jalen Goodson going to punt for a second time to Peyton McCullough.
Had him over the middle right there as well. Great play call. That was a great route. The receiver did his part. Just the throw could not get to him.
Absolutely. So now it'll be the Pandas starting from their own 6-yard line. And Joe Burrow almost completed. Peyton McCullough gets hit. Luna Koenig, who, of course, we talked about him playing the screens. We talked about him playing the run, but he can also play the pass. That was incredible. So 2nd down now. Jalen Jones on the outside toss, and there he goes. It's going to be 23 yards for the first down for Jalen. And this Pandas offense is rolling to start.
This Hounds defense has been really interesting. It looks as if it's able to put together some great stops, but it can only piece 1 or 2 together. It can't pull together 3 or 4.
Yeah, you absolutely have to get them off the field on 3rd down, and that really, I mean, that would have stopped the only score Bangkok has so far. But 2nd down and 7, another toss out to Jalen Jones. Taj Leatherwood looked like he had the play, but couldn't quite get there, and so LaQuisha Raquan has to come through. And Jalen Jones, 35 and a first down. Pandas keep rolling as we move into the 2nd quarter.
Well, we all know the Hellhounds all season long have started their game slow. We're now in the 2nd quarter. Usually 2nd quarter, closer to halftime, is when they really start finding their groove and getting into the ball game. So hopefully that means the Hellhounds will be finding their way here shortly.
That is a fair point. The Hellhounds have started out slowly in a lot of their games. I think back to that game against the Stags where they started out really slow and were able to win that 34-13. As Jalen Jones is shut down by Damian Wilkerson. He's a guy we haven't really talked about in this defensive line, but is part of that excellent defensive line the Hounds have. And now it's 3rd down and 10 to come. Hellhounds will be looking for a stop. Up the middle to Jalen Jones. He breaks through the first defenders, but only able to get 7. 4th and 4 now.
Decision time.
Yeah, will the Pandas try to kick a field goal? It is, of course, Peter Relish is the kicker, but no, they're going to go for it. 4th down,
I guess,
4. Toss to Jalen Jones. He's going out the outside. A first down. Taj Leatherwood making the stop. Jalen Jones already over 100 yards for the day.
It really comes down to, the central question of, do you trust Jalen Jones or do you trust Peter Relish? And the answer is, I'm not trusting that.
No, not with going 3 for 7 on the year. Incredible from extra points. He's money from there, but when you start scooting back a little bit, you're only 3 for 7 from on your field goal attempts this year. That one makes it a little easier to come up with a decision.
And is it Damian Wilkerson again with another tackle for loss, stopping Jalen Jones on the goal line. This is insane. What a moment for it. And now 3rd and goal. From the 2. And it's going to be a hit off to the bot, and the bot can't do it. Logan Bandy got back there, and now it's 4th down. Do you have to kick it now for a 2-score game? And they will not. The Pandas are going to go for it. They want to shut this game down. Toss out to Jalen Jones. Miku missing the play. Jalen runs over. Touchdown, Pandas. Jalen Jones with his first rushing touchdown of the day. And the Pandas, pending an extra point, should be up 14.
I think the worst part about that, just looking at how the Hellhounds defended that, they were able to finally break some of those blocks and start trying to make those tackles. It's just bounced off. 2 players bounced off Jalen Jones as he walked into that end zone.
Yeah, absolutely. Mika Tron has had a couple opportunities here, so we'll have to see if he can clean that up going forward. Kamar Reynolds returning for 17 yards. Again, interesting decision by the Hounds to have him return in a game like this. So it's Dwayne Swanson who will go ahead and drop back with some pressure, and he throws to Julius Glob. I'm not sure that was legal. We're going to have to check the rules, but I guess the game is going on. So Julius Glob with his first career catch in the Gold Bowl. What an interesting moment we have here. Potential future tight end for the Hounds, I suppose, when Thompson retires. Jay Rugga with the tackle for loss. I'm just trying to process all this.
It's been an interesting spring game.
Yeah, Julius Glob, only 5'8", man. I saw the pass go up in the air. I'm like, who's catching it? And saw Julius Glob come up with the catch, man. No way. Couldn't believe what I just saw. But Panda's defense still making the Hounds work for every yard that they get. They're going to have to bring out Jalen Goodson again.
Yeah, another punt. Yeah, Julius Glob, very, very good player. Obviously, people want to talk about his height, but he's also got a great personality. He's very handsome, very funny, from what I've heard. So a lot of great things going for him there. But now we get the Pandas again. It'll be Joe Burrow to Jalen Jones, and looks like just short of a first down. It'll be 2nd in inches now. And that run game, there have been a few big outbursts, but overall it's been just a consistent churn of a couple yards at a time, and it's working very well for the Pandas right now. As a toss goes outside, Luna Koenig manages to shut it down, but Jalen Jones with 12 yards and another first down. And the Pandas look like they might be ready to put this game away in the first half.
We all know the Berlin Hellhounds, man. They start slow, and they are not ever out of a game. They always find a way to get back into it. They figure things out. One of the best teams out there at making adjustments, especially at halftime. Those halftime adjustments are huge from Berlin, and they show up big time in the 3rd quarter.
As Joe Burrow got hit, but he still manages to find Deebo Samuel. There were 4 Hellhounds there. Bangkok calls timeout because, they got to keep this ball moving down the field. We just watch. Toss out to Jalen Jones. He's got nothing but green ahead of him. Touchdown, Bangkok Pandas. And they look like they'll be up 3 scores. What, do the Hellhounds not have an answer to this onslaught?
Ooh!
The extra point almost got blocked. So much for being money from extra points, right, Xerox? But he manages to get it through.
Got some things to learn at kicking that football.
Yeah, well, sure, gonna play off season after this as Kamar Reynolds takes back his 4th kickoff of the day, and that's just not what you want to see if you're Berlin right now, and already having to take back a 4th kick. Can Axel Axman, who I don't even remember, this is only his 3rd carry of the day, which is not what you would expect given how dominant Axel's been this year. One of the league leaders in rushing, so a little shocking there as Jin Jettis makes his 2nd catch and gets a first down. Berlin immediately calling timeout.
Berlin has been very pass heavy so far in this first half. Axel Axman has not really found it going yet off these 3 rushes. something's gonna have to give here for the Hellhounds.
Yeah, well, now it appears to be the passing game as Jin Jettis manages to make a catch for 20 yards and another first down. And the Hellhounds are all of a sudden moving the ball, need to try and score some points. Screen out to Kamar Reynolds, who breaks a tackle and then gets a first down. It looks like he will. So 10 yards there for Kamar Reynolds. And let's see what the Hellhounds can do. 9 seconds left. Probably have one shot at the end zone here if you want it. Swanson drops back. He fires and it's intercepted by Archie Wild. And that is not how you want to end that drive. Hellhounds will go into the half down 21.
Yeah, had a chance there maybe to squeeze out 3. If not, you go into the half only down 3 possessions.
Yeah, as Logan Bandy makes that stop, and we're going to go to halftime here. Hellhounds going to need to regroup. Leonard, could you look at that first half? What did you take away, and what do the Hellhounds need to change?
Well, so first of all, man, I was surprised to see Kamar out there returning kicks. Maybe he got a few pointers from Wilo. Talking about those nosebleed seats, but other than that, I think that the screen game is currently taking up maybe a little bit too many of the plays for the team, and we could start trying to take a few more shots down the field because those have seemed to be working out a little bit better.
Absolutely. Serox, what would you say the Pandas need to continue doing? I mean, it's hard to even say what they could improve on because they've had such a great half, but how can they continue this dominance into the second half?
Right now, they're doing a great job of they're being very balanced in the run, in the pass. Jalen Jones has 15 rushes, 2 touchdowns. But also, Joe Burrow is he's throwing the ball. He's keeping the Hellhounds defense on their toes, which is very good because that defensive line is definitely making some noise and trying to give the defense opportunities to get off the field here. But the Pandas, hopefully, they don't go too conservative in the second half of being up 3 scores right now, and they continue to do exactly what they're doing on offense.
Absolutely. So as we come to the end of this halftime, Hellhounds down 21 and just needing something. Dwayne Swanson 7 for 13, but only 54 yards and a pick. On the other side, Joe Burrow 4 for 9 for 79 yards, but again, just not turning the ball over. So we'll have to see how this plays out as we go into this second half right now. And I'm sure the Hellhounds are holding their breath, hoping they can do something, but they're not going to start with the ball. It'll be the Pandas starting out, as Jalen Goodson will finally kick off for the first time and will kick a touchback. So Peyton McCullough will not touch the ball, so it will be Joe Burrow to start us out in this second half. He drops back and fires and misses Peyton McCullough, and you again saw that pressure coming from multiple Hellhounds defensive linemen.
That defensive line, man, is really getting to Burrow. Even if they can't come down with the sack, they're still getting to him and finding a way to make a noise.
As Luna Koenig finally comes up to stop Jalen Jones on a huge second down. That toss game has been so effective for Bangkok that now you finally get that stop. It's 3rd and 12. Hellhounds need a stop up the middle with Jalen Jones. Did he get the first? He did. 14 yards on that run.
The defense, man. They're trying.
Yeah, as I said earlier, it's just a matter of stringing them back to back, right?
Yeah, absolutely. As Luna Koenig again coming up to make a stop on Jalen Jones. So 2nd down and 12 now to come, and Hellhounds just need a stop. Every single second that ticks by is a second they're not getting back into this game. As Jalen Jones gets the outside, he's able to take off up the field, and DeQuavian Kills Jr. came from the defensive line to make that stop. 35 yards for Jalen Jones on a first down. Bangkok continues to move the ball. Now Jones goes up for 5 yards. J.J. Ennerfelt making his 2nd tackle of the day. And again, we just see the Hellhounds struggling Joe Burrow now 4 for 10, but managing not to turn the ball over. He'll drop back here. And somehow that pass is not intercepted. J.J. Ennerfelt making the play, but those are the ones you got to come up with.
Very, very risky pass right there. Joe Burrow has gotten away with letting some bad passes happen here in this one. Luckily, Jalen Jones or his receivers have bailed him out.
Absolutely, as he just did again. Just hit 200 yards for the day, did Jalen Jones on that first down run. So now it'll be 1st and 10, 2 yards away from within the 10, so it will not be 1st and goals. Jalen Jones breaks through, says it doesn't matter. Touchdown, Pandas. Jalen Jones dominating.
Pandas have scored on every offensive possession so far here in this game. The Hellhounds needed a big stop coming out of the locker room right there to maybe give the offense a little bit of momentum. But still, Hellhounds, they made some adjustments. Luna was able to make some stops there on the outside on that run. If you can find a way to just get maybe just two stops in a row, man, you can get off the field.
Well, let's see if the Hellhounds can manage to get some points on offense. They need that desperately. Screen game out to Kamar Reynolds, who breaks the tackle. He manages to get 8. Not listening to Lunark there on that particular suggestion. Lunark at halftime saying the screen game should be less of the game plan. So 2nd down now as Swanson drops back. He fires deep down the field, and K-Dog couldn't quite get there. TJ Talonflame with the deflection, but it looked like he was struggling to run through that linebacker.
Not sure why we didn't see a pass interference called right there. It's been a couple plays here that these refs could have thrown the flag, man, and they just have not.
Yeah.
Gonna have to see what is going on here this offseason with the referees committee.
Yep, so Dwayne Swanson missing another pass, and it's 4th down. The Hounds are going to punt. This seems very conservative for the situation, but that's what they're going to do as that gets behind him, and Gio Seo is able to get down there and down that ball 58 yards with no return. So let's see if the Hellhounds can get a stop this time on the Pandas, stop them from scoring on every possession. Toss out to Jalen Jones is again, it's Luna Koenig making that stop, and very good to see that as the Hounds, again, desperately need a stop. If they have any chance of getting back in this game, they really need to get this done as soon as possible. Burrow dropping back, underthrows, pass caught by Guido Samuel, only gets a yard though.
Just to continue to go back.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys were watching that, but that looked like that was almost a walk out of the end zone for.
That was almost a Dan Orlovsky right there.
Yeah, you don't want to be compared to Dan Orlovsky in a lot of ways. As Samuel Brown Jr., the rookie, gets involved in the game with his first catch for 43 yards and a 1st down. So Bangkok continuing to put their foot on the gas, and just another risky throw, but Joe Burrow is getting rewarded as now he's going to
Fumble!
turn the fumbles the ball.
Fumble!
By Gio Sands, who's going up the sideline.
Gio!
No! Keppel Britt makes the stop, but the Hellhounds with their best opportunity of the day.
That's the kind of momentum swinger that you need here in a big-time game like that. The defense made it happen right there. Can the offense capitalize?
Absolutely. Dwayne Swanson now gets sacked by X Factor, and just like that, almost all the momentum is gone. 2nd down and 22. Swanson losing 12, but that pressure just too much. Offensive line didn't hold, so now 2nd down. Pass is caught by Gonson. Touchdown, Hellhounds.
Amazing acquisition from the Stags, franchise tight end to come over here. And, maybe he will keep making a difference from here on out.
Got to get him more involved. Gonson, only 2 catches here, and one of those is just for the first touchdown of the game for the Hellhounds. Got to find ways to get him more involved here.
As that kick almost gets blocked, but it is good. So Hellhounds now down 21. They keep themselves alive in this game. Another touchback from Jalen Goodson Jr. And again, it's such a good momentum, but it's such a good momentum swing, but still, you've got so much work to do. As Jalen Jones was almost stopped, but Lanes O'Connor has to come up. That's only a gain of 5, but it could have been a loss. just another play missed by Berlin. As now Jones gets the toss and he's going out wide. And he'll get a big first down. Luna Koenig making that stop. 29 yards, 2:45 on the day for Jalen.
Great three-level blocking right there, all the way from the line of scrimmage to 5 yards out from the line. Then even where first down there by a big play by Peyton. Man, great blocking on that run.
Yeah, DeQuavian Kills Jr. coming up to make that stop. 6-yard gain for Jalen Jones there. 2nd and 4. You can just see that clock just ticking away. Hellhounds cannot afford this. They do manage to get a stop. It'll be 3rd and inches now for the Pandas. But again, at this point, it's not a matter of points. It's a matter of time. And the Hellhounds are running out of it quick. Up the middle to Jalen Jones. That'll keep it moving. Another first down for the Pandas. So first down and 10 coming now. Toss out to Jalen Jones, who gets stopped by Lanzo Koncic, that free agent acquisition from the Polar Bears. Probably didn't expect to be playing in a Gold Bowl today, but an exciting development. But this game could have gone a lot better for the Hellhounds as Jalen Jones takes it outside. Was he in? Not quite, but 19 yards, 30 rushes, 285 now for Jalen. 1st and goal to come.
Giving it right back to him.
And that'll be a touchdown for the Pandas, and it just looks like the Hellhounds are out of answers.
MVP, MVP, MVP.
Here's Serox chancing MVP. Peter Relish will come on to kick his 5th extra point. Kicked 52 of those during the regular season, and that'll be a 5th one good today.
I think you got me mistaken with the crowd that's all around this. That's chanting the MVP. I even think I see some Berlin fans down there joining in. You might want to check on them.
Yeah, well, I think there are probably understandably a lot of Berlin fans frustrated with this output as Kamar Reynolds again takes it back for 21. This game is good as over, but let's see if the Hellhounds can find some pride here as Dwayne Swanson drops back and fires. Pass caught by K-Dog, the former Panda, who started out with the Hellhounds, went to the Pandas, was traded back to the Hellhounds for 2 TPE, and has made quite a name for himself. Won Most Improved Player a season ago. And now Dwayne drops back and almost is intercepted. TJ Talonflame with his 2nd deflection of the day, trying to get it in there to Gonkson. So 2nd down and 10, excuse me. And Dwayne will drop back again, and he's intercepted by Jay Rugga. And any air in this stadium has been deflated out. It looks like this game is over.
Yeah, it's a tough day to be a Hellhounds fan, that's for sure.
Yeah. Imagining their owner and their GM sitting in the press box, probably scratching their heads, wondering what happened. But you have to ask yourself questions like, why is Kamar Reynolds returning kicks when he hasn't done that all season? And why are you letting up so many of these plays that are really detrimental to you? There are a lot of times where the Hellhounds defensive line was able to get into the backfield, was able to get to Joe Burrow, but they weren't able to come with turnovers. And it's moments like that where you have to ask yourself, did you lose this game or did you let it slip away? As Jalen Jones picks up another first down. I suspect the Pandas probably going to just run out the clock here. As he's stopped, Jalen Jones stopped by Luna Koenig with his 5th tackle for a loss. And what's next now for Berlin?
You reload.
Yeah, I was gonna say I do think that this game will provide a lot of good study material moving forward. I do think that there are just a couple of key differences moving into next season where if you make those key differences, a lot of those plays go entirely differently. I think that right now that 3-tier block that Jalen Goodson gets is just killing the Hellhounds when they're trying to make those stops. In addition, I think that maybe switching up the offensive game plan Maybe staying away from the screens. I think those will be key to just, pivoting back to a high-power offense that the Berlin Hellhounds were once known for.
Wow.
As now a safety comes through. That's a good time to transition, as now the Pandas are up 30, and as this game looks like it's coming to an end, what an ugly end it'll be. But for the Pandas, what a moment this is. What does this game mean to them?
This is the second time in franchise history that they will be back-to-back Gold Bowl winners. JB gets to go out with another Gold Bowl. This is the fifth one in Bangkok Pandas history. They take the gap between them and the Polar Bears a little bit bigger here for the all-time Gold Bowls. But this group's been together for a little while now. They started off, it was some bumpy roads there, but they found a way, and they've got it done here in some of the back end of their careers. And
absolutely, as the Bangkok Pandas officially win the Gold Bowl 37-7 over the Berlin Hellhounds, they become champions of the CWSFL once again. A massive congratulations to the whole team. What made the difference here today?
That man right there, Jalen Jones, like what's been mentioned a few times here in the broadcast already. Some of those the three-level blocking that Jalen Jones got on some of those outside runs, and then even with the center being able to pick up some blocks there up the middle, man. Jalen Jones, that was the difference here in this one.
And what a game it was! Over 300 yards of rushing for Jalen Jones. Only the one turnover for the Pandas. Managing to keep that contained and limited. And again, just seeing they seem to know exactly what the Hellhounds were going to do and knew how to cover it off. So what a game we've watched, and what a deserving champion we have. The Bangkok Pandas go from 9-1 to champions. And as we sign off on Season 14, we thank you for joining us. For all of us here, it's Bizarro, Max Kellerman, Lunark, and Sarah. Good night, everyone.